Our CBS News poll shows the race is neck and neck between former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris. And last night, the candidates were out again, making their closing arguments to voters. Trump had a big old rally at Madison Square Garden. Big names like Elon Musk and Dr. Phil and Hulk Hogan, big names in the Trump world, that is. They all made speeches. And in a surprise move, so did former First Lady Melania Trump, who argued the quality of life in this country has declined. She rarely is out there on the campaign trail. Trump, meanwhile, vowed to bring back the American dream.
I'm here today with a message of hope for all Americans. With your vote in this election, I will end inflation. I will stop the invasion of criminals coming into our country, and I will bring back the American dream. This election is a choice between whether we will have 4 more years of gross incompetence and failure, or whether we will begin the 4 greatest years in the history of our country.
And on the Democratic side, Harris hit a number of battleground states over the weekend, including Michigan, where she was joined by former First Lady Michelle Obama, who had some blunt words about what she sees as a double standard for Harris.
I hope you'll forgive me if I'm a little frustrated that some of us are choosing to ignore Donald Trump's gross incompetence while asking Kamala to dazzle us at every turn. Please do not hand our fates over to the likes of Trump, who knows nothing about us, who has shown deep contempt for us. Because a vote for him is a vote against us, against our health, against our worth.
Everybody here knows this is going to be a tight race till the very end, so we have a lot of work to do. But we like hard work.
All right, for some campaign analysis, we are joined by CBS News Chief Campaign and Election Correspondent Robert Costa. Bob, glad to have you here. Really appreciate it. This is an unusual closing argument for both candidates. I mean, the star power that they have on stage. But let's start with the Madison Square Garden event where you were there. You've been there for concerts. This was not a concert.
It was not a concert in any way. This was former President Donald Trump trying to stoke his base. There's no expectation inside the Trump campaign that he's going to win in deep blue New York City or New York State. This is about galvanizing his supporters across the country. But the question now is, does he pay a political cost for what unfolded on stage? When you have people like Bad Bunny coming out and reflecting the Harris campaign message and showing support for the Latino vote, it causes some alarm for some of my Republican sources who go, this was too much.
Yeah, Bad Bunny made that call after Tony Hinchcliffe, the comedian, made these comments. Let's take a listen.
I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah, I think it's called Puerto Rico.
Still can't believe that happened. Bob, you were in the room, like Tony said. What did it feel like? What was the response, and what's the Trump campaign saying now?
For the Trump campaign, this is a crossroads. They've issued a statement trying to create some distance between them and this performer, or whatever he defines himself as. And you see right now, though, the Trump campaign trying to close on the message of immigration, border security, the economy. But again, with so many Trump events, as we've seen over the past decade, it's the distractions, it's the incendiary rhetoric, the rhetoric that sometimes veers into racism or offensive remarks that raises questions about what is Trump doing, what actually is his closing message. Is it the whole spectacle and the scene, or is it just those policy positions? That's something voters are going to be grappling with in the coming days.
You know, Bob, and then you've got Republicans, though, saying that it's Kamala Harris who's, in fact, got the incendiary rhetoric when she's calling Trump a fascist and calling him a threat to democracy. Just contrast for us the closing arguments from the Harris campaign compared to what you just described from the Trump campaign.
You see in Norah O'Donnell's conversation, Vice President Harris trying to talk about issues like cost and lowering costs for Americans, her 100-day agenda should she win the White House. But she is making this bigger picture argument about American democracy, which is reflective of what Democrats have been saying about Trump since January of 2021. She has echoed what retired General John Kelly said, that Trump has this authoritarian fascist style in his view in terms of his politics.